So I woke up in the day after sleeping for only 4 hours and I was fucking tired. At that day I had a leg workout that I needed to go to. The thing was that when I needed to go to that workout, it was in the morning, I was so demotivated to go, I didn't wanna go. And as I woke up, as I went out of bed, as I brushed my teeth, I just thought about skipping it. I had a bunch of copes like, bro, you are tired, you should not go today, you should wait for tomorrow, because in tomorrow you will have a better workout, right? I had all of these cop-outs that I almost used, but I went to it anyways, and in that workout I did the amount of work that I usually do in terms of the sets and exercises. I was a bit weaker than usual, as expected, and then after that workout, bro, I didn't expect it when I went to it, but afterwards I felt way better, not worse. The thing was that I went to that workout, when I went to it I felt pretty damn bad. I was tired, I didn't have a lot of energy, but this workout, it didn't take my energy, it energized me. So days like that day in which I don't wanna go to my workouts are not that rare. Around 10% of the times that I need to go to my workout, I feel demotivated, I don't really wanna go, I'm just tired, I have a bad headache sometimes, but I go anyways. My consistency in terms of the time that I go when I need to is around 99%, right? In the last 1 year, I have not missed one workout. Now, I won't be the kind of guy to sit here and tell you, bro, don't skip your workouts, that's the only way to get jacked. You go 100% of the times. Now, you can go 95% of the times and you will still make a lot of progress. But the thing is that consistency is really the key. It's not that I use discipline 100% of the times. It's not that I go through the pain each and every day that I need to go to that workout. None of that shit. I enjoy training, but more importantly, even when I don't feel like it, I found a few methods that make the act of going easier. But before I go over them, I need you to realize one extremely important thing, and it is the definition of consistency in the basic level, micro level. It is going when you need to, right? Because think about it like this, if I were to not go to that workout that I told you in the beginning of this video, my consistency would go down from 100% to 99%, right? But what if the next day I were to sleep 4 hours again, and then I would not go again, and then that's another workout that I would skip, and then the next day, and that's 97% consistency. What if I were to do it in each one of the following days? That's 0% consistency. And that's what consistency is if you try to deconstruct it into the most basic, fundamental level. It is going. And there are two main things that I found after thinking about it that influence going, basically. These are friction and desire. It is basically friction versus desire. If your friction to go to that workout is extremely high, you need to walk all the way to the gym for 30 minutes, you have no headphones on, you are depleted, you're really tired, then that's a high level of friction. But if your desire with that level of friction would be way higher, your whole career would be being a bodybuilder, you are about to compete at the Olympia stage, then you would go anyways. But on the other side, if your friction was extremely low, you had a home gym, and with it you had a really good time training, you loved it, then you would go, even if your desire were extremely low. Because of the fact that your friction was also low, you would go. So it is basically the ratio between the two. You need to keep in mind that if you want to become more consistent, it's either increasing the desire or reducing the friction. And these three ways that I am about to present to you, all of them either reduce friction or increase desire. And the first one out of them is to actually want it. It is to have your desire in check. Because if you don't really want it enough, so at day one when I started my journey, this was not the first time that I tried to change my body, that I tried to go and work out. For the 2 times beforehand, I didn't succeed because I didn't want it enough. If you want to change, right, genuinely change, then you need to first have enough desire to change. Now the friction to get in shape is pretty high by default. Even if you will minimize it with all of the techniques and ways, you will still need to go through a level of friction, and if your desire is not high enough, then you will probably not go through it. And that's the first thing that I needed to realize. If you want to actually succeed, you need to go and be willing to make these sacrifices, like going, like working out, like learning about this subject, and through wanting to make them, through having enough desire to get a result of them, you will make them. And how do you find your why, your desire, the reason why you wanna do that? So it's simple. There is no one way, by the way, right? There are a lot of ways. One way to do so is to associate more pain with your current state. If you were to completely hate being fat, it were to be the worst thing for you, every day you were to sit and just hate it and just feel bad about it, right? I don't tell you to do that, by the way, but that's the extreme of pain from that state. You would probably change pretty damn fast, because pain is a motivator for us humans. And if you are willing to change, if you want to change and not be fat anymore or skinny anymore, and you're willing to go through it, and you want to build enough desire to actually go through it, then I don't wanna say it, right? It's pretty dark, it's not good for most people. But if you're really serious about it, then associating your current place with more pain, you thinking about all of the negative health benefits that you will get long term from being fat, for example, thinking about all of the negative societal consequences of being fat, and associating it with this current state, and changing this state, and actually be willing to change it, because that's how you get the willingness to change it. That's one way, right? Not the only way, that's one way that is pretty effective, because pain is an extremely effective motivator. It is one way to go. But that's only if you're really serious about changing, and you know for certainty that changing is possible. Because if you know for certainty that it is not possible, then associating all of these negative things with your current state is really wrong. Because you will just start to hate yourself, and self-hatred without changing is just dumb, right? If you are willing to change, then do it. If not, then not. And then the second way, it is to change your environment. So there is this thing called environment design. It is basically changing your environment in such a way which makes doing the hard things easier and the bad things harder. It's basically the difference between going to the gym and going through that workout that you really hate to do, with no pain fucking killers. Not painkillers in the literal sense, but painkillers in a sense of you listening to music, you talking with friends, you having friends in the gym. These painkillers, using them and not using them. If you were to use them, you would have a better time in the gym, you would be more consistent, and you would go more, you would make more progress because of all of that. But if you were to not use them, then the opposite will happen. More friction will be there, and your desire to friction ratio will get worse, and you would make less progress because you would be less consistent. And then there is the third thing, and it is your mindset. So if you associate enough bad things with your current desire, and you build that motivation through pain, you can build it through inspiration, through seeing what is possible. That's another way. I didn't talk about it, but it's possible, right? It should not necessarily come from a negative place. It can come from it for sure, but I genuinely think that it is not that healthy. After ticking this box off, the desire box, and then the environment box off, and thinking about all of the ways in which you can change it for the better, you can go into the third box, and it is your mindset. So it is the difference between thinking about the gym as a chore that you have to go to because the world is an evil place and you need to go through pain, and thinking about working out as a thing that you get to do, that you love doing, that you choose to do because you enjoy. Now at first, when you change your mindset to this way, it won't really change your subjective feeling when you do that thing. If you start to think of working out as that fun thing, even though you had been hating your need for the last few months, then it won't really change at the beginning. You might start to see more proof to it as being right, working out as being fun, right? But with enough time, right, it will start to change. You will start to love it more. And as you will start to love working out more, you will be more consistent, and it will come from a way better place. At first, it should suck for sure, right? You've never done it, it's painful, it's not easy. But if you try to purposefully cultivate the mindset of, I get to do it, I choose to do it, I enjoy doing it, then you will actually try to find proof. You will make it funner through the environment design too, and through doing those two things, you will actually start to believe that you like training, you will start to love training, and that's one way to make yourself jacked long term. Because there is a lot of longevity in doing what you love doing, and there is not a lot of longevity in doing what you don't like to do. Because if you are not David Goggins, if you are not willing to embrace this mindset of pain, of discipline, or you want to embrace it not to the fullest extent, you might quit in the end. Because it's just painful, it's just going through the friction, right? With pure discipline. It's possible, I won't sit here and say that it does not, because that's how I started running and run a marathon and succeeded, but it's way better to have the mindset of I love doing this shit, because it's just way healthier, better for longevity and shit like that. And that's essentially it. If you enjoyed this video, you can like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.